and I want to take this time and introduce myself. Hi there, my name is Sunny. I am a resident of Arlington Heights. I'm a full-time mama, and I'm I'm trying to manage a full-time business. And so I'm really excited to be here and to be able to do this program with you. I attended Northwestern University. I obtained my master's degree in health communication from Northwestern University, and my focus of study was in health literacy. And it was in really looking at how we can provide better health information so that people are empowered to make better decisions for themselves, for their families, and for their communities, really. I have certifications in personal training and as a healthy weight loss coach. And I also have a 3rd degree black belt in karate. And I really believe that good health starts in our home, and that it is important to focus on daily habits so that we can have stronger, so that can carry on into our work life. We can have stronger families as a result, and that we can also turn that and have stronger communities as well, which is why I'm so excited to be working with you today, so that we can work on some techniques to boost productivity and just to ease stress and have better habits overall. Now, what's on the agenda? We're going to be looking at factors that affect productivity and focus. We're going to look at some coping strategies and productivity boosters, and we're going to look at how to build daily habits so you can get to work, especially during a pandemic. Now, none of these things are my own personal thoughts. These are proven ways. Research has been conducted on all of these, and this is going to really reflect on what doctors are saying out there, and the research that is currently being looked at, and how we're more productive and how we're able to just be stronger and healthier in our everyday lives. Now, you should know all parents are inherently productive. I'm not sitting here giving a presentation so that because you're unproductive. Parents are productive. Some days productivity might look like this, and that is fantastic. And during COVID, some days it's your parental duties plus your workplace responsibilities. You're stretched thin, you have less sleep, you've got less time for self-care, and you have increased stress. So what does that lead to? We're looking at burnout and unproductivity. And one of the things that we've noticed is that family and career have common factors that lead to burnout and stress. There are unreasonable time pressures. There are unclear expectations and responsibilities. Before, I had 8 hours a day that I could get stuff done for work and then go home and either set up for the next day, spend time with my child. Whereas now it's unclear. Am I the teacher? Am I the chef? Am I the full-time homeschooling instructor? And then I still have my work responsibilities. So now we have a heavy workload. Time management skills that we had before may not really work for us at this current moment. So how do we go about that? Let's go step by step. 1, let's look at reducing distractions and focusing. So productivity boosters. Get rid of distractions. One way of doing that is plan activities for your kids in advance. Okay, that's going to allow you to get rid of the distraction of just events and activities and things that your kids want you to do at that moment when you're about to sit down and do something you need to do. Move to a quiet area if you can. Turn off notifications on your phone, or just turn off your phone altogether. Close the office door if that's possible, and tell those around you not to distract you for a period of time. And that's why it's very important to have activities. That's why the boxes that we have created for you at the Arlington Heights Library included a lot of children's activities. It's one thing about you being productive, but it also has to be with how do you distract your children and give them activities and plan like shoebox activities. We call them shoebox because for a different day of the week, you want to have certain items that you're saving so that they can do that craft in the period of time that you need to be able to get something done. And then close out of programs or apps that aren't essential on your computer. You know, you sit down at your computer, you're ready to work, and then you're like, oh, I forgot to put in the grocery order. I should have done that. Let me just get to it now because my tab's open. I'm just going to get it done. You know what? Just close out of those when you're sitting down to do something specific. 2, coffee in small doses. We talked about caffeine, limiting caffeine, but science also shows that drinking coffee in small doses does have a positive impact on your ability to focus. But the operative word here is small doses. And so that's why I included some non-caffeinated tea in your box and the caffeinated tea so that you could have some caffeine for those moments that you really need the extra hit. Caffeine does have cognitive enhancing properties, but you do have to do it in moderation. If you do too much of it, you feel anxious and nervous and you have a little, you know, you're just wired, which reduces your ability to stay focused. The Pomodoro technique. This technique refers to having a timer, specifically Pomodoro. It's those tomato timers for the kitchen. You set it, it goes to a maximum of 25 minutes usually. Well, the Pomodoro technique, you want to set your timer for 25 minutes and get to work, okay? You're not allowed any distractions in that 25 minutes. And I say not allowed with your own distractions. You don't want to take a short little break. You want to wait till those 25 minutes are over. When the buzzer sounds, take your 5-minute break, then set the timer again and get back to work. Once you've done 4 rounds of this, you can take a longer break, approximately 20 to 30 minutes, which is usually enough time for like a snack or maybe you want to have your lunch. But for me personally, I don't have 2 hours at a time, but I do have 25 minutes. So I don't do 4 rounds of 25 minutes, you know, with 5-minute breaks. I'll do 1 25-minute, get what I need done, take maybe a longer minute sometimes, go back to it when I know I have some, you know, distraction-free time to put in another 25 minutes at a time. You want to put a lock on your social media. Social media has this time warp almost. You get on there, you're like 5 minutes. I just got to check these 2 things. And then all of a sudden 5 minutes is 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. So if you can stop yourself from using that between those 25 minutes or stop that when it's not the designated time for it, it's highly recommended not to check your social media. You may want to consider an app. Those exist as well. So that may be something that works for you. 5, set small goals and hold yourself accountable. You want to do that because you can, often it's a big project that gets us overwhelmed. So complex projects need to be broken down into smaller parts. Bite-sized goals allow you to do this. So for example, instead of just being like, okay, I need to finish this presentation, what you need to particularly finish for that presentation can be broken up into parts. So first I usually sit down, okay, I need to complete the outline for this presentation, right? So that outline, I need to be able to say to myself, all right, I'm going to break that outline up also into a few different sections. Then the next day, okay, spend 25 minutes researching section 1, you know, the information that I need for that, and then be able to do that. And then after that, maybe source images for sections 3 and 4, and so on and so on. So you really want to be able to break it down into smaller parts. Now, time planning to be positively productive, for me, comes in the form of a planner. I do have one of these sheets included in your package from the Arlington Heights Library. So that box that you're going to pick up from us, or you've already picked up, came with one of these sheets. You are welcome to photocopy it for every day of the week, of the year, or every day of the week and every day of the year. And this really helps to keep all of those 14 things that the AADA wants you to do, that recommends for, you know, keeping yourself stress-free and more productive, all in one sheet. And how does it do that? Let me show you mine. Okay, so we start with getting your date in there. You've got the day of the week, and then you want to start off with a bit of gratitude. So for me, it was simple. You know, I'm very grateful for my hubby for waking up early to give me an extra hour of sleep this morning. And this, you know, I've got a data for tomorrow, but this is usually how I fill out mine. I start with the day and I sort of fill it out as I go. And I'll sit at the end of the night and I'll fill out the rest of it. The priorities for today, so I'm doing these so that tomorrow when I get up, I have a new presentation to work on. So I'm going to be finishing that presentation outline by the end of the day. I want to be on track to finish my healthy home presentation by Thursday. And then I have to order supplies for new subscription kits that I'm doing. Then I'm going to go into my to-do list. I'll fill those out. I fill out my reminders. These are maybe some things that I'm not really going to do in my to-do, but I need those for the rest of the week. And then I'll go back into planning my day. I wake up and I remind myself I've got to take some time to breathe, to have breakfast, and then maybe listen to a podcast that I want to listen to. I'm going to schedule in another breathing time. And I'm going to, in the next slide, tell you how we schedule breathing time and what we do in breathing time. And then, you want to put in the rest of your meetings. Like you see here, this is the time when I do have some help to watch my kiddo. That's when I do a lot of the big stuff that I need to do, and I do them quickly. But I do specifically set aside time and a plan for what I want to be doing. I want to put aside some gym time, my husband's turn to make dinner tomorrow, and then I prepare lunches for the next day. We even include things like changing bed sheets on our to-do list, just because I'm never going to remember stuff like that. And when I put it in there, my husband knows. We actually have it in our phone calendars. We know certain things that are coming up. Maybe somebody's cleaning the bathroom. It's just things you have to plan for. Those are time sucks. And when I get them done, check it off. I love that. Done and done. In terms of your daily wellness, you've got your 4 deep breaths. You want to do that 4 times a day. You've got your water intake per day. You want to do a fitness activity levels. And all of these, I'm going to explain to you in the next slides. Your meals, I've got your breakfast, snacks, lunches, snacks, and dinner. And then you want to have your sleep routine in there as well. So let me go into those. For breath work and gratitude, you want to sprinkle that out throughout your day. And you want to schedule the time to breathe, okay? This time out is really important. And meditation, breathe, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't have to be an hour of sitting in silence. There's no way I could do that. So what I really focus on is something that actually the Navy SEAL uses, and they call it box breathing. And why it's called box breathing is because you're going to breathe in for 4 counts, hold it for 4 counts, and then breathe out for another 4 counts. And you repeat that once or twice, up to 4 times, just in one sitting. So that counts as 1 breath time. And you can go back and fill out that form and be like, great, I did that once today. Okay, and then throughout the day, you're just going to, like I said, sprinkle it out and do that again. Let's try one together if we can. So you're gonna sit, your knees out straight, you're gonna have your back straight. And actually, I was a test study. So one of these studies that looked at box breathing for stress, I was one of these in university. I was in one of these studies. So I really believe that box breathing works, and the research shows that it does. So you're gonna back straight. You're gonna take a nice deep breath in through your nose, and then breathe back out. Okay, that's 1. You're going to try that again once more. Breathe in. Okay, and maybe you just do it twice. And if you're starting out, maybe you just want to breathe in for 3 counts or 2 counts and hold it for 2 counts and then breathe out for 2 counts. So just start slowly, but make that work for you. Now, practicing gratitude. Research has shown that practicing gratitude improves your quality of sleep, builds emotional awareness, and it also lowers your stress levels. And, it's an easy thing to do with just putting it into your planner, just 1 line, think of something simple, write it down, and maybe while you're breathing, you can think of it as a mantra, you can repeat it, you can go through your chakras, just really whatever works for you. But science has shown that if you take this time, you're going to find yourself feeling like you have more energy and just more enthusiasm to work harder. Because, you want to enjoy the little things. It's not always going to be the way. Time is always changing. You want to look back and know that, the little things were the big things. As for movement, how to optimize the power of exercise. Now, the research shows that you need 5 days a week of about 30 to 60 minutes per day. Those are the guidelines provided to us by by the government, really. And so what we want to be focusing on is jogging, walking, swimming, biking, or dancing 3 to 5 times a week, and also including resistance training in that. What does resistance training mean? Well, basically lifting weights, so using resistance bands, doing push-ups and other exercises that are targeted at strengthening your muscles rather than just increasing your heart rate, which is what cardio activities and walking and running, quickly would do. These significantly reduce symptoms of depression. So doing those resistance training workouts. And also it boosts your brain power. A research study out of Georgia Tech found that a single bout of lifting helped improve memory. And I love that. So how do we do that? How do I do that with my personal training background? For my clients, what I do is just get them to do very simple workouts, but to have it on a schedule and know exactly what they're going to be doing. Let me show you. All you have to do is pick 2 exercises. So day 1, legs and shoulders. You're going to do 2 exercises for each. When you're first starting out, you want to concentrate on about 3 sets of 12 exercises per leg or per body part. For the legs here, I've put in squats and deadlifts. You want to do 1 set of 12. So you do 12 squats, you take 30 to 60 seconds break, and then you do it again. Then 12 more, 30 to 60 seconds break, and again for 3 rounds. Then you move on to your deadlifts and you do that, those 3 sets. Then shoulder workout. I have here overhead press and Arnold press. And if you don't know what these are, that's okay. And you don't have to do any of these exercises. We have the wonderful world of internet. And so you can look up and say, okay, what resistance exercises can I do for my shoulders? And pick an exercise and do 3 sets of 12. Pick another exercise, do 3 sets of 12, and you're done for those body parts for that day. Do maybe a 15 to 25 minute, dance, hip hop class on YouTube, and you're done. Day 2, I'm going to alternate 2 different parts of my body because your muscles need time to rebuild, rest, and the protein synthesis has to happen. So what you want to be doing is move on to a different part of your body. And this time I picked the back and the arms. Same thing, back. What back exercises? Let me look them up. I looked up single arm row and the lat pull downs. Again, 3 times 12, 3 times 12. Then move on to the arms, bicep curls, hammer curls, and then maybe a 20-minute treadmill interval that I'm going to work on. And for day 3, we're going to be working on total body. So then I'm not going to use any weights, but I'm going to use body weight exercises and do burpees and push-ups and lunges, mountain climbers. I'm going to do 10 to 15 of each all the way through, rest 2 minutes, do another 10 to 15 of each, rest, and do that again for 3 times a day. So you have this sheet in your box, and all of these sheets, you're welcome to photocopy and use them for the rest of the year. Or if you'd like colored copies of these, I do. They're available on my website for purchase, but you're welcome to just photocopy these and use them. Now, rest is vital. Do create those routines, stick to them, change them up after 4 to 6 weeks, but don't overdo it and be sure to schedule your rest days. Rest days are just as important as your workout days. You need those muscles to rebuild and, for your swelling to go down. So keep working at it. Nourishment. For nourishment, to beat the 2 p.m. slump, we really have to focus on nourishing our body with good food. And that's because food has an immense effect on your attention span. It has an effect on your ability to focus, your tolerance for sitting in one place for long periods of time. And it can help keep you sharp and attentive or tired and hazy, depending on what you're eating. So foods high in antioxidants maintain brain health and alertness. So that's things like berries and, dark colored fruits. And foods high in protein keep you feeling full for longer. And also healthy fats add taste, keeping you satiated while also powering your brain with fuel. Fats are very important. Now, let's start with the basics. So 6 essential nutrients are what make up the foods that we eat. That includes your carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and water. and your micronutrients, so vitamins and minerals. You really cannot cut out any of these. We need different portions of each one, but you can't say, I'm not going to have any carbohydrates, because that's your brain's main fuel source. So, we really don't want to be cutting out any of these nutrients. You definitely need your vitamins and minerals. So the more colorful and more varied our diets, the more likely that we are going to get all of these 6 nutrients. You want to plan weekly. You're going to schedule your shopping days and prep days. You're going to create a weekly menu. You're going to hopefully stick to it. And you're going to involve others, because I find personally that's one of the biggest reasons why I started creating weekly menus, and I started creating menus for my clients, was because people would get tired and burnt out and not want to cook. I mean, cooking in itself is an activity and something you have to do. So people can get burnt out from having to cook all the time too. So if you don't make it easy and you don't make it so that others can also just jump in and pick up where, you've left off, in terms of, I went grocery shopping, I picked up everything, can you just make it? Involving others can help. How we do this at our house is that we have our weekly menu posted, and our shopping list is on our iPhones. It's on our phones. It's in the form of the notepad, and it's shareable. So I can just share that, and we know exactly what's been crossed off and what hasn't been. And, if somebody's out, they can just pull out the shopping list and be like, oh, we need onions today. And we know what's on the menu and the things that need to be picked up. Usually I pick a day and we do this in the week, but sometimes, we run out of something and somebody needs to run out, or sometimes I do not feel like cooking what was on my menu. So then, we can go through and figure something else out. So this is the meal planner that I use. This is also in your box. And so I'm going to show you how I filled it out. Keep in mind, these foods are, our family favorites, or these are foods that I've made. This is in no way to tell you what should be on your menu. You can choose what goes in your meal planner, make it varied, make it colorful, but your meals are your meals. But I'm going to show you how we fill them out. So, this is our Sunday. For Sunday, we usually have a big brunch at Egg Harbor, so I just fill that in quickly. And then at night, we like to do just a One Sheet Eats meal. One Sheet Eats is a book. You can actually find it at the Arlington Heights Library. Basically on a sheet pan, you can put your chicken, your potato, your asparagus, and everything gets cooked at the same time. Easy peasy. Then I go in and I think about, well, I'm having chicken and potato on Sunday. So I'm going to have the chicken and make a little chicken salad and put it on a sandwich for my lunch the next day. Then I create my dinner for the day after. I think about it being, okay, I'd love shepherd's pie. I've bought some ground beef. I'm going to make some shepherd's pie. Then I have leftovers for that day. On Tuesdays, we have Taco Tuesdays, shrimp sometimes beef, but usually there's no leftover. So the next day is when I like to go have lunch at the Bakester here in Arlington Heights. But my husband will pick up lunch if he needs it. And my daughter accompanies me at the Bakester because we'll take a short lunch break together. The night of Wednesday, we're going to do air fryer steak and salad. Again, there's never any leftovers of steak. So I do quick tuna sandwich. That night, we're going to do pita pizzas and a salad, something quick that I can make. The next day, maybe we do avocado toast. My daughter does not like avocado toast, so we do like eggs and croissant for her. So I try to be as specific as I can. And on Fridays, I don't want to cook. Our freezer has lasagna in it. That's what I'm going to put in. Maybe we make a fresh salad. And then I want some chocolate cake on Fridays. So I'm going to put that in. Saturday mornings, we're going to make some pancakes. And then I don't want to cook Saturday, but the charcuterie board is easy. There's cheese, there's grapes, there's apricots and meats and crackers. So it's nice, well-balanced, not a meal per se. So it's not like this all the time, but this is just what worked for us. And we usually eat out or order in on a Saturday. Then my breakfasts, I just alternate and I keep them varied as well. And your snacks, there's so many things to do for snacks. You can do apple and peanut butter, Greek yogurt with almonds, a couple of chocolate chips. I do bananas in there, veggies and hummus. You've got cheese and clementines and pistachios. And what all of these things have in common is that there is a protein component So like the cheese has protein, pistachios have protein. There is a carb component. So pistachios have carbs, clementines are carbs in the form of fruit. And then there's a fat component. So I've got my cheese, it's got, good healthy fats, and pistachios have small amount of fats. And same and so on for all of them. I hope that's helpful. But again, you don't need to make it like this. And if you do need help, you're always welcome to contact me.
Would you like me to go ahead and give that to you?
Please, thank you.
Okay, sure. What kind of stretches do you recommend before bedtime to help with sleep?
Okay, so that's a great question because there are different types of stretching that you could do. So there are stretches called dynamic stretching and there are stretches called static stretching. Dynamic stretching are usually stretches that you would do before a workout. That's because you want to get yourself warmed up and you want to engage in the activity that looks closest to that dynamic stretch. So like leg swings, if you're going to be doing some kicking or squats. But static stretching is really what we want to be doing after a workout. And those are the stretches that are slower and you hold them in place for like 30 to 60 seconds. So before bed, you want to be concentrating on static stretches where you can hold a stretch, move into a nice long, stretch where maybe you're just bending down, holding, getting close to the ground, maybe holding your ankles, or stretches that you would normally see in a yoga class where again, nice slow movement. So you're just breathing deep and you are just holding that movement for 30 to 60 seconds. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And actually, you can always look up, slow stretches to make sure you're doing the movement correctly. But yes, I would recommend static stretching. All right. So do we have any other questions? Is there any other screens that maybe I can go back to? Let me see if I can go back this way. And I can focus a little bit more on, I think maybe looking at that exercise sheet might be helpful. Let's see. There we go. Movement. Easy peasy. Okay, so remember we're looking at 30 to 60 minutes per day. And I've listed on the workout sheet here that 40 to 60 minutes total is all you need for each of these. So, if you're not getting the full 60 minutes, but your blood is pumping and you're doing those 2 exercises and then 2 exercises for the other body part, and you're doing this workout, this may actually just take you half an hour. Spend the other half hour stretching because that's actually really important. For complete physical fitness, we need not only resistance training, cardio, but also flexibility, which comes from stretching.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I was wondering, thank you so much too for the boundaries answer because it's really hard. I was probably interrupted 20 times during this. But my question actually is that we have a small studio apartment, and I'm wondering how in the world would I possibly be able to set aside some like quiet space for myself to do things in?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is so different. So actually, here is, can I get out of this one? Let me stop sharing for 1 second. I'm going to show you something that, there we go. How do I exit? There we are. So there are pictures that I'm going to pull up actually this sheet that I want to just go into I'm going to show you what some friends have done and some things I've found online. Let me open that up again. Okay, now I'm just going to share my screen with you. Sorry, thanks for being patient. All right, how do I share screen again? There we go. Okay, sorry about that. There we go. I'm actually not a very good multitasker, which is why I really like to set things aside. So for a small spaces, this is something that I also do, which is organization and home planning for wellness. You want your home to be this area where it can be a space that can be wellness. And now this is not so much that it's a quiet time, but it is a designated space. So having a desk, even if it's a small, tiny desk, but that it's got clear areas and you keep it clean and you keep it organized so that when you're sitting there, your child knows that you have your headphones on and that this is going to be something that you do, either at a particular time, all the time, and that you mean business when you're at that table. So a studio apartment or not, if you can set aside a specific space where you feel transformed when you sit in that, it could be just a small TV tray with a chair so that your laptop's on there. And when you're sitting there, this is work mode. Maybe you have a little sign that says, work hard, play hard, whatever really works for you. But that way it's your space when you're sitting there. And even if you can't, curtain it off and there's nothing you can do, when you sit there, you mean business. You can set, so some parents set a little sign, when the sign has a happy face on it, you can speak to me. When it's an unhappy face, give mommy like 10 minutes, or with kids, it's 3 minutes. That's the max. Usually they found, research has shown that parents get interrupted about every 3 minutes. So, so I know it's really difficult, but it's really setting this time aside for yourself so that when you're there, okay, I have 3 minutes that I'm going to do this particular activity, and this is my spot where I do my work. And maybe using that sign so that your child can decipher whether it's, I can ask this question right now or not.
Perfect.
Okay, I hope that helps.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so tough with little ones. My goodness. They're like constant. They want to talk and they're lonely, like I said, and it's just the way it is.
Well, thank you so much. It looks like, Sunny, you were able to answer all the questions that we had in the Q&A and in chat. So thank you so much. Thank you everyone for attending. And again, that you should receive a survey, and we really do hope that you will take some time to let us know your thoughts about today's program, and also if you have any comments or suggestions for future ones. We love doing Parents Turn with Sunny, and we hope that we can figure out ways that we can work together to help parents now during this unprecedented time. So we really appreciate you being here today, and I am gonna let Sunny finish saying goodbye to you all.
Great. So thank you so much. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Carrie. And thank you for being here. I know it's not an easy time out there at all. And I just hope that there are a couple of tools that you can use, the planner, the exercise planner, and the meal planner. And if you have any suggestions for those, if you want to change, see a couple of ththings change on there, or if things worked well for you, I'd love to hear from you. My website is www.positivelystrong.com, and there's a contact sheet there. So I'd love to see a message from you, just letting me know what you thought, or if if there's something that you'd like to see in the future, or if something worked for you and you want to tell me about it. But thank you so much. Hope we see you again in one of these events again. So thank you.